what I was talking about in the other live. I wanted to say, if you're not aware of it, the Supreme Court have overturned the Roe versus Wade decision in favor of banning abortion outright. So it's now considered illegal in all states, all 50 states, I believe. So I'm gonna read more information about it and let you guys know more details. So the Supreme Court on Friday, like today, has overturned the Roe versus Wade case, eliminating, like removing all constitutional right to abortion after almost 50 years in a decision that will change American life. We change the politics, change land, people lives forever. Now, if I could give you my personal opinion about the decision and whether I agree with or disagree with it, I would say I agree with it, and this is the reason why I agree with the Roe versus Wade decision. First of all, it will make people be more mindful of who they're sleeping with, and it will force people to be more responsible with their sex life. Because you have people out there that are just sleeping with whoever, and some of these mothers don't even know who the father of their child is. And you got men out here that are just pumping and dumping multiple women, leaving them pregnant without a father in the house, just leaving them as single mothers. That's gonna make people be more conscious of their decisions. So fathers and guys are not just gonna be willing to just sleep with any woman now because they know a woman can't just go to the clinic and abort the child. She won't have to give that baby to full term. So I do support the decision because you do have women out there that will purposely get pregnant and will abort the child, and it's nothing to them. You have sick women out there that will intentionally get pregnant, and they will do it as a sport. They will, like, every year I'm gonna get pregnant just so I can abort the child, just so I can say, you know, I live my life, live have a hot girl summer, go out there sleeping with any type of guy, getting pregnant by any type of dude, and then I'm just gonna abort it. There was a video of this woman that says she intentionally would get pregnant just to abort the child, and she'll do it every year. And then women also support that sick idea, that sick mentality. Now you gotta have to carry that baby. You can't abort that child. So serve these bitches right. Those type of bitches who intentionally abort these child, and they have no remorse for literally committing murder in the womb. Because if a baby reach, even when a baby's a cell, it's a living thing because it has a life. It has life. It's developing into an actual human being. And women who just think this is a game, now they gotta be responsible with their legs. They can't open their legs to any type of man. So I do support the Roe versus Wade decision, and they ruled it in the favor 6-3. They ruled it in the favor of 6-3. So it was not even like a close thing. It was like more than half of the people were were with it. So let me see if I could read more about it. Obviously, there's people upset about it. People having protests. People are they're going crazy about it. But this just is breaking news, man. This is breaking news. Um, this decision is in full effect. The Roe versus Wade has been overturned in the Supreme Court, and now this means that abortion is illegal in all 50 states. You cannot abort a child. I don't know if there's certain stipulation that comes with this amendment, but pretty much it's considered illegal for a woman to abort the child. And I agree with this because, like I said, there are women out here that are evil that would intentionally sleep with men and get pregnant and then abort the child as like some type of sick sport or some game. And you got women out here that are encouraging other women to abort their child. Like, yo, you don't want to deal with that responsibility. Like they will say, oh, you don't want to deal with the responsibility of taking on of being a mother. Just abort the child, and they take this thing as a joke. When a child has reached full term and is ready to be conceived, I mean, ready to be delivered, and the baby is healthy. It's murder. It's literally murder. How can women get away with murder? If a man, it's so funny to me that if a woman brings a child into full term and the child is born and she decides not to abort the child and the father don't want to be there for the child, the woman cannot the father cannot force the woman to abort the child. So it literally comes down to her body, her choice. But now the baby is a body, so it's not really her body, her choice. It's the babe. It's her body, but not her choice to what she should do to that child, because that child didn't ask to be born. That child didn't force its way to be born. You made the decision to out there sleep and got pregnant. Now you got to take on that responsibility to raise that child. So now mothers are going to be more responsible, because accountability, it falls back on women. A woman don't want to take accountability for her decisions. They will sleep with Pookie and Ray Ray. They will sleep with all type of guys, and then they will even get pregnant and they don't even know who the father of the child is. Now women are going to be held accountable for the decisions. So now there's no hot girl summer. Oh, let's just go sleep with random dudes and hook up and then get pregnant, and then, oh, I won't have to worry about it because I can abort the child. I could just go to the nearest clinic and abort the child, and nothing will be said about it. Nobody will file charges. No, you wouldn't be held responsible for any of the decision you make. But now women have to take accountability for their choices, because now they're not just out here just sleeping around. They're not gonna, if they sleep around, they know they're gonna have to bring that child to full birth, and then they can't just go up and just abort the child now. Now there's certain exceptions to the rule where I will see this law not being fair, and it's not that many, but these are exceptions to the rule. Number one, if a woman has been raped and she was forced against her will to have sex and then she has a child, then I could see why abortion would be considered fair in that situation. Number two, if a child is conceived out of incest, if a baby is born out of incest, there's a huge stigma that comes with it. And parent, they don't, a mother don't want a child to go through that stigma, because if the child ends up finding out that they were conceived through incest, that could make the child go through depression and want to commit suicide. So I could see abortion being fair in that. Number three, if there's like a disease or some type of genetic abnormality that will be passed on to the next generation, and the child is going to be either blind, deaf, or has some type of disability, something that's going to hamper their life, is going to ruin their life, then I'll see abortion as being fair in that situation. But I would say, even with all these situations, a child can still be given up for adoption, and there are people out there that will take um that would take on that responsibility for adopting a child and love them and cherish them and treat them as their own. So there's still, exceptions to the rules. There's exceptions to the rule, but there are also exceptions to that rule. So I wouldn't say it's cut and dry like that. But like, I mean, this is still gonna be going on. I mean, people are gonna still be debating about this. This topic is not gonna stop. People are gonna have their mixed opinions about it. People are gonna say, "My body, my choice." This is basically what women are gonna say: "My body, my choice." But we know it's your body, but that baby, it doesn't take only you to make it. It takes two people to make it. So now that baby is not your own, like, only. It's not your own being, like it's its own being. It belongs to itself. So that baby cannot make that decision if it wants to be born or not. If it wants, it can only do what it's designed to do, which is grow and develop and you know be ready to conceive. That baby can't control its decision, but the mom, you didn't. You weren't the only one that was responsible for bringing that child to the world. So you can't have that ownership and that control over that child. A father cannot say, "Oh, you should abort the child," and force a woman against her will to abort the child. But a woman can give birth to a child, and then and the father don't want to be responsible for raising that child, and she could still force the father to pay child support, and the father don't have any say over what happens to that child, even though he play a part in bringing that child to life, even though it takes two to tango. But it's like they side with women because it's like it's her body or choice. But now it's no longer her body or choice. It's her body, but it's not up to her choice to decide what she want to do with that baby. And I'm happy that they overturned this rule. Now you don't got all these scallywags going out here just scoring around and just living it up and having a hot girl summer, because you got women out here. I'm telling you, there are women out here that will go out and sleep around with multiple men, get pregnant, don't even know who the father is. And because they don't want to take on that responsibility of being a parent, they're like, I'm just gonna abort this child. There's not gonna be no strings attached because I don't have to worry about it once I abort the child. And that's wrong. That's fucking wrong, because you made that choice to open up your fucking leg like a fucking whore, and you let some nigga ski in that pussy. And now when the child is born, you don't want to take on that responsibility of being a parent. You need to be a responsible parent. You need to take on that responsibility of being a mother. If you don't want to be responsible for being a mother, close your fucking legs. I'm not sugarcoating anything, man. People need to take responsibility for the decision, you know? So I am happy this thing was overturned, because like I said, you got so much evil, wicked, vindictive women out here that were intentionally getting pregnant just to abort the child, and they were laughing at it. I watched a video of a woman saying, "Man, why would you stress about having a child? Just abort that thing." And it's like it was nothing to them, and other women were like cheering her on and say, "Man, I bought my child and I don't feel no way about it." And they take it as a joke. And women, there are women who do this every year. It's wrong, it's immoral, it's unethical, man. Because imagine, you as a child, you beat out billions of sperm to make it to that egg. You're one in a billion, one in a trillion. Like you're unique. The chance of you being born is so small. It's like almost zero. You beat out all the possibility. There could have been one sperm that was faster than you that got to the egg and inseminate the egg and created you. That one sperm could have beat you out. It could have been the timing was off. You didn't make it to the egg, but you made it. And imagine you make it, and then you beat out all the odds just for you to be aborted, man. So this decision was the right choice to be made. I agree with it 100%, because abortion is not right. A child should not be aborted. It's immoral. It's unethical. It's just not right, flat out. So I'm gonna read this article. Go into two more details. I mean, this decision came in today, July 24th, around 6:30 p.m., and said the court surrounded by security. So they're gonna obviously have people protesting outside of the Supreme Court and armed police. The scene at the court was fraught with emotions and anti-abortion activists shouting in celebration and supporters of abortion rights. So you got people who gonna obviously, support abortion, and you got people that are gonna be opposed to it. You're gonna get different range of opinion with this. I'm trying to see if I could read a credible article about this decision and go into more details about this. So, in a historic and far-reaching decision, the U.S. Supreme Court officially reversed Roe v. Wade on Friday, declaring that the constitutional right to abort, upheld for nearly half a century, no longer exists. So basically, a woman does not have the constitutional right anymore to abort the child. It's now considered illegal. Writing for the court majority, Justice Samuel Alito said that the 1973 Roe ruling and repeated subsequent high court decisions reaffirming Roe must be overruled because they were egregiously wrong. The arguments exceptionally weak and so damaging that they amounted to an abuse of judicial authority. The decision, most of which was leaked in early May, means that abortion rights will be rolled back in nearly half of the states immediately, with more restrictions likely to follow. For all practical purposes, abortion will not be available in large swaths of the country. The decision may well mean, too, that the court itself, as well as the abortion question, will become a focal point in the upcoming fall election and in the fall and thereafter. Joining the alito opinion was Justice Clarence Thomas, appointed by the first President Bush, and three Trump appointees: Justice Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and I don't want to go through all this. Let me go to the main part. So dissenting were Justice. Okay, so basically they saying with sorrow for this court, but more for many millions of American women who have totally lost a fundamental constitutional protection. So people are saying it's some people who are opposed to Joe versus Raider saying it's a woman's constitutional right to decide what she could do with her body. They're saying it's her body, her choice, and that a government should not interfere with a woman's choice with what she wants to do with her body. Now, my only problem is this: it's like the baby is its own body, it's its own being. A woman is not the only one that brought that child into life. She's not the only one that formed it. Like you need an egg and a sperm to create life. So she shouldn't have total control over what she should do with that being, with that baby, because she didn't only create it. She's not the only one that created it. It just means that people got to be responsible now. They can't just sleep around. They got to take on that accountability for themselves. So I'm full support of the Roe versus Wade decision. Like I said, I'm all in. I'm all in it for it. I'm all in it for it. Um, they said in the end, Alito's opinions have a large objective, perhaps multiple objectives. Writing for the majority, he said rightfully that abortion is a matter to be decided by states and the voters in the states. We hold, he wrote, that the Constitution does not confer a right to abortion. As to what standard the courts should apply in the event that a state regulation is challenged, Alito said any state regulation of abortion is presumptively valid and must be sustained if there is a rational basis on which the legislator could have thought it was serving legitimate state interests, including respect for and preservation of prenatal life at all stages of development. In addition, he noted states are entitled to regulate abortion to eliminate gruesome and barbaric medical procedures, to preserve the integrity of the medical profession, and to prevent discrimination on the basis of race, sex, or disability, including barren abortion in case of fetal abnormality. Ultimately, the transition for all of this states appear to be completely free to ban abortion for any reason. So this case is ongoing. There's still going to be more information that comes out, but yeah, this is breaking news. As I said, they overturned Roe versus Wade, and I was saying before I do support this decision because that means now there's none of these bitches out here having hot girl summer anymore. Because a lot of times bitches will get pregnant for the fact to get abort the child, so they're gonna have to take responsibility for their own decisions, and responsibility is like kryptonite to modern women. But anyways, if anybody have any thoughts, any opinions that you want to interject, please let me know. I'm all for it. I already spoke my piece. I already said what I had to say. Like I said, it's good for both sides. Now, dudes, niggas out here are not gonna just go and sleep around with multiple, because now women are gonna have to bring that child to full birth. To full term to give birth to the child, and now they're gonna charge the father, if they even know the father is, child support. Oh man, people are just sleeping around with no type of respect, no type of care, with no type of conscience. It's like people are so reckless with their sex life. So this is gonna bring some type of order in this whole thing because now people are gonna be careful now. They can't just sleep around with anybody. So this is good for the betterment of society, in my honest opinion. That's how I feel about it. I mean, it really just makes logical sense when you think about it. Cause look how many women are out here living their best life now, sleeping around with multiple men, getting pregnant and aborting the child, and they do this over and over again. That's literally murder in the womb. If a woman has a history of aborting, it's not even her child because she aborted it. I don't even call her a child at that point because if it was her child, she would have brought that baby to full term and gave birth to it. If a woman decides to abort a child, she should be held responsible for murder, man. How is it that a man cannot have any legal rights over a child and decide what could happen to a child? He could say, you know what, I want to be a father. A man could say, I want to take care of the child and be responsible. I want to step up to the plate. And if a woman say, no, I don't want you to be a father and I don't want to have this child, she can abort the child and the father don't have any rights over that. How is that even fair? A father could be ready and more than able to take care of that child and take on that responsibility. He could have a good paying job. He could have a nice home. He could have every resources necessary to take care of that child. But if a woman decides she don't want to bring that baby to full term, there's nothing you can do about it. How is that even fair when it takes two to make the child? She's not the only one who made that child. Without his sperm, that child would not be born. So how is it he don't have any say in that? It just brings balance to everything because it's like there's women out there who are very spiteful and they're vindictive and a lot of times there's no reason for them to abort the child other than to get at the father because they're bitter for whatever reason. The father may have moved on with his life and find another partner. And he's like, no, I want to step up to the plate and be a father for that child. That there's fathers out there who legitimately want to be a father, but the woman, for whatever reason, are just evil and they abort the child. And the father has no say in that, even though he played a big part in making that child. Without his sperm, the child would not be born. It takes the sperm to fertilize the egg for a child to be conceived, man. And without his sperm, you won't be able to determine what the gender is. The sperm of the father determine the gender of the child. So it's wrong, man. It's not right what they're doing. So now it's about time that things have been balanced now, where it's fair from both parties. Now, no longer women have all this power over a baby because, like, the baby didn't ask to be born. You made that decision to go out there and sleep and slut it out. If you don't want to have a child, close your fucking leg, man, and learn how to properly vent these men. Because a lot of these women out here just sleeping with the worst possible man you could think of. Low value man, like men that ain't shit, like men that she know are not, they're not capable of being fathers, but they would sleep with those men, have their kids. But the good man that want to be a father and actually be there for their kid, they don't get a chance. So it's about time things get, you know, back to normal. You know what I mean? It's just fair. It's just a fair thing to do. That's how I see it. But that's how I see it. I leave this video at that. Donate to my Cash App $ being resilient. I notice people don't want to donate because people are haters. Like nobody want to see your channel grow. Nobody want to help you. I don't get why people are so evil. Like, especially your own people. They always act like they like you, but deep down inside, these motherfuckers be jealous of me. I'm talking about family, friends, anybody. Your own people will act like they support you, but deep down inside, they hate you and they want to see you fail, man. Because if you support me, you would donate to my Cash App, $being resilient. But I barely get any donation. I just see nobody even responding. Like people, a bunch of haters. But that's another topic for another day. What do you guys think about the Roe versus Wade? Do you agree with the decision with the Supreme Court overturning that rule? And what do you think will come out of it? Would it cause women to be more careful with sleeping around, and would you see a change in how people make decisions when it comes onto their sex life, and just what you think would be the benefit of it? If you have any other opinions and any thoughts, let me know. Thank you for watching. Have a great one. Bye.